Hi, I was given this handbag and I'm going to transform it in this. The handbag itself is not as bad. The only problem with it is the handles that need replacing because they're broken. But I don't have anything to replace it with. So I'm going to change the shape completely, and with the help of this chain I'm going to create something completely new.
And once I knew what I wanted, I started with my design. I came up with the idea of a small handbag with a flap, and it's going to have a chain as a handle from a previous handbag that broke, and the inside a zipper to keep everything in, and the button that the handbag brings to keep the flap in place. The next step was to think about what parts it will need. So I started drawing them and then measuring and thinking about what would be the perfect measurements. Although I made a mistake with the flap, but you'll see now. Let's start sewing.
I have my plan sorted and my design, and the first thing is going to be taking it apart. So I'm going to be really careful with these stitches here. So I want to take them out little by little so I don't rip apart the fabric. And now that I have the handbag all open and flat, I'm going to trace some patterns, the ones I want to use, on paper, just to be sure what I cut. And with my pieces cut, I'm going to put them on top of my fabric without pinning, because this gets really marked if you pin it or if you sew and then take it off. So I have to be careful as well sewing. And then I'm going to use as well this bottom bit as mine. So I'm going to use it as it is. I'm going to cut around to have my front or back and this piece already sewn, so it's a bit crisp. And what else? But mine is going to be a bit narrower because this is just too wide. I have all my pieces. So because the bag had the typical pocket inside with a zipper, I wanted to make use of it, so I just put my pattern on top of it to be able to use it again. So once I sew it, it'll be perfectly fine. And then what else? I want to use the magnetic button as well, so I cut the pattern on top of it. So my tongue is going like this. I already have my main piece together, so now I'm going to sew the sides. And this is my main piece sewn. And one thing I didn't realize is that my chain, what I'm using as a handle, has to be attached to the handbag somehow, and I'm using 2 rings for that, but these 2 rings need some support, so I'm making 2 pieces of this material Well, I can do it in the other one as well. So I can attach the rings. I've just sewn my zipper to the side and I'm really happy with the result. I've had more problems with the bag than expected because of this sort of foamy fabric, I don't know what this is, that brings to keeping the shape. So what I did was to take it off for this bit and I'm really glad. If I had known, I would have taken it from the whole thing. But anyway. And another thing is that I had to take this off because it was already sewn on one side and I couldn't attach the rest of the lining, so I'm going to make a whole lining and then sew it, and that will be much better. And for the tongue, I simply made a seam on top of the handbag. You can't really see it when I show you in the machine because it's really shiny, but it's just that, a simple seam, and once it's folded I can measure where I want the bottom. And for my lining I'm going to use this navy blue fabric I have, and I'm going to take into account not only the length and how tall it is, but also the sides. So it's going to be a rectangle of 30 centimeters by 20, and then I will pinch the corners once it's done, and that will give me the width. And between the lining and the proper bag, I'm going to add a bit of cardboard. I've never done this, like this really sturdy bags that come, so it has a bit more structure. I almost forgot the button, so take one of the cardboards off, and then with the bottom in its place and the little legs it has pointed out, we just measured where it will land, and with the seam ripper I just pinched the fabric. And now the funny bit is to take this, and it's just a matter of pinching, putting this little plate it brings, and then folding the legs. And because it has the cardboard on top, you won't even notice the legs. And because now we have 1,000 layers of nasty material and the cardboard, is not possible to sew the lining on the machine, so by hand. And once the ring and the chains are in, this is the final result. One thing I didn't realize when I was doing the design is the top bit. It doesn't look like my initial drawing, and that's because when I measured and when I sketched the measurements I wanted, I didn't realize I had to leave not such a triangular shape, but keeping account that I had to cover this bit. So I should have made an arch or a different shape. It's quite nice for an evening out or for going for a coffee, and it fits everything I need, so that's a plus. And another good thing is that you get 2 positions with this method of chain, and it's really good because you can wear it long or short. As always, I try to recycle things I have in the house, like the chain and everything is recycled. The chain and the rings are from another bag. When one of my handbags die, I always rip it apart and take all the things I think I can use, and I have a lot of chains and buckles and things like that is a pity to throw away. And I do the same once this one is not useful anymore. But it's good because I get to try new things and get experience sewing. If you may know what happened to me and what I did wrong or what you had done differently, let me know down in the comments. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss anything. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye!